foam roller class today. Let's first start with our foam roller in a horizontal position, about 3/4 down on your mat. And we're going to curl and roll back, laying nice and flat on your mat. I'm going to make sure that my head is more towards the top of my mat just for length and more space. And I'm going to place my right foot on the foam roller, bring my left leg up to tabletop position, and on that inhale, I'm going to reach that right leg out, rolling it out along the back of the leg until the leg is nice and straight. It's less about the pressure of your leg on the roller and more about the control. Can you control the roller up the back of the leg without losing it, and then bring it back to the foot. Inhale to press it out nice and slow. So you're rolling up the arch of the foot, around the heel, up the Achilles. I've got a lot of tension here on my left oblique to really help control that movement. And then the right leg straightens and lengthens out. And I lock the knee out and find that full extension of that right leg. And then bending the knee, drawing the heel back towards the hip, pulling the heel around and over the top of the roller, back to the arch of the foot. So it's quite a slow, controlled movement because you're trying not to let that roller fly away from you. You want to find that control as you straighten that leg. And you don't want the roller to skip over any portion of the leg. Pulling the roller back, bending that right knee. We're going to switch. Left foot comes down to the roller. Right leg comes up to tabletop. And on the inhale, we'll press and straighten that left leg out. Dorsiflexing the foot at the ankle in order to roll that roller around the heel and up the back of the lower leg. Slow on the exhale, using those abdominal muscles to help control and slow down the movement so you don't lose control of the roller. Finding that full extension of the knee before bending and bringing the roller back. Arms are nice and long, shoulders are reaching down the back. Last one. And slow on the exhale as you glide that roller back towards the hip. Making sure that the roller is squared off. Both feet are going to go on the roller. And we're going to tilt the hips back to imprint the low back. And slow to curl through back towards the tailbone. Exhale, hips tilt. And back. We feel a little bit of that engagement up the back of the lower leg along the hamstring. One more pelvic tilt. And on our next inhale, inhale, we're going to press both legs out over the roller. Dorsiflex at the ankle to roll around the heel. Drawing and zipping up through those pelvic floor muscles, lower, middle, upper abdominals, rolling and straightening the legs out, finding that control. Full extension of the knee before you exhale and begin to bend. Try not to shrug or skip any segments along the back of the leg as you bring the roller back to the arch of the foot. Reaching out with the legs, stretching them out nice and long. Find that slow control so you don't slide the leg along the roller. You're pushing and controlling the roller out along your mat. Let the collarbones spread wide. Ribs and abdominals are knitting in. We'll do one more full double leg extension. Finding that control, especially as the roller comes around the back of the heel, up the Achilles tendon. Trying not to let the back of the leg, your sock or your pants slide. So you pause a little bit, slow it down. Find that control. Feel the hamstrings as you press a little bit down onto the roller to control and maintain contact with the back of the leg. And slow on that exhale as you bend the knees. Again, trying to feel as much of the leg on the roller as you can. Bringing it back to the arch of the foot. Close to the hips with knees bent. We're moving back into that pelvic tilt. We tilt the hips back, imprint the low back flat against the mat, and rock back towards the tailbone. Exhale as we tilt. Feeling the weight of the shoulder blades, the rib cage flat against the mat. And on our next exhale, we're going to peel and curl up into our pelvic curl, our shoulder bridge. Exhale to tilt back. As you imprint the low back, you begin to lift. Bridging and lifting the hips nice and high. And slow on the descent, curling down along the spine, along the rib cage. Moving slowly down the back all the way through to the tailbone. Arms reach long. We tilt the hips back and we peel up piece by piece. Arch of the foot, heel is on the roller. Pressing the knees forward towards the toes, creating that movement at the ankle. Nice and smooth articulation. Finding that movement along the spine, each vertebra at a time. On our next pelvic curl, on our next bridge, we're going to stay up, stay lifted. Feel the weight of the shoulder blades that fold at the mid-ribs down along the mat. And we press the roller forward, rolling it to the back of the heels. And we pull in towards the toes. We're going to roll the foot along the foam roller to create a little bit of leg extension. We're not going to fully straighten the knees, just a small movement to activate the hamstrings up the back of the leg more. And we'll go for 3, 2, 1. And curling and rolling all the way down. Pressing the legs out so that way the roller is resting, or your feet and legs are resting there at the ankle. At the top of the roller, we'll point the toes. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. We want to seat the rib cage in. So we're starting and activating those upper abdominal muscles to start that chest lift. And on the inhale, we lift the head, neck, and chest, folding deep at the mid-ribs, and begin to curl up off the mat, reaching forward over the legs towards the roller. So you get that extra stretch along the back of the legs because of the elevation from the roller. And on the next exhale, we curl back piece by piece. Shoulders are sliding down the back, hips are tilting back. We're curling along the spine, one vertebra at a time. I'm not letting my arms travel overhead. As I reset back to the mat, I want to keep the rib cage knitted in. Shoulders are sliding down. We're keeping the neck long, trying not to let the head crane too far forward. You may find that the roller under the lower leg is helpful for the roll up, activates the hip flexors a little bit more, allows you to use those lower torso muscles. And on this last roll up, we reach forward, we stretch out nice and long over the legs. Holding that stretch. One more breath. And we'll curl and restack. Sitting up nice and tall, nice and long, with the legs reaching out. We're going to hinge back on the inhale. And exhale, rise. Trying to maintain that nice flat back. Proud chest, long through the spine as we hinge at the hip. Last 2. And chin to chest, we forward fold and stretch out nice and long over the legs. We'll curl up and restack. Let's take our feet and our legs about mat width apart on the roller. Flexing at the ankle to pull the top of the foot back, the arms reach forward. We go chin to chest, forward fold, reach forward, grabbing the roller as you press the legs down. So you anchor the roller, create a deeper stretch up the back of the leg, and glide your upper body forward, reaching long. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Curl and restack. Sitting up nice and tall, nice and long. And we'll point the toes. We're going to curl back just to the base of the shoulder blade. fold and curl, rolling back up, restacking the spine, sitting tall, flexing at the ankle, drop the chin towards the chest, forward fold, we reach and stretch out. Press the back of the legs down so as you grab the roller and pull it towards you, it doesn't slide up the back of the leg. So you're pushing down into that stretch. And slow to restack. Pointing the toes, hips tilt under, we curl and roll back, just to the tip of the shoulder blade. And slow as we draw up and in. We sit up, sit tall, flexing at the ankle to draw the foot back, fold forward. Chin to chest, forward fold, reaching nice and long towards the roller, pressing down through the back of the knees, the back of the legs towards the mat. And slow to restack. Sitting up nice and tall, we point the toes. We're going to curl back again towards the base of the shoulder blade. And fold and curl, rolling back up. Let's work just those mini roll-ups. Curling back from tailbone up the spine to the base of the shoulder blades. Reaching the legs out nice and long. Three more. Last one, we roll up, flex at the ankle, curl and roll forward. This time I'm going to reach out wide on that roller to the outside of the legs, taking a wider grip with the hands. One more breath. And slow to restack, sitting up nice and tall. Let's walk our legs to the center. You can do this single or double leg for the calf stretch, for that lower leg stretch. Reaching your hands and your arms behind you, you're going to lift the hips up. And we're going to roll, pressing the hips forward as we lift the hips, and then drop the hips down. Rolling up the back of the leg. You may need to do this in sections, which I typically advise, just because it's less torque, less movement and stress on the shoulder. So you can do a few passes, drop the hips down, move the roller up about a third of the way, and press back up and reach out. Sending the legs forward, sending your body forward to roll that foam roller up the back of the leg, staying out of the back of the knee. I'm going to rotate the legs out to hit the outside of that lower leg of the calf. Three, two, one. Hips are going to lower down. Arms come to the front. We curl and roll down, flat to the mat. Arms are reaching nice and long down by your side. And on the inhale, that right leg is going to reach up towards the ceiling. And slow to lower. Keeping the back nice and neutral so the leg movement is coming from your hip, not from your spine. And right leg comes back to the roller, stays long and engaged. Left leg floats, and we kick up on that exhale. Inhale as the left leg lowers. One more. And slow to lower the leg to the mat. Hands come up over the chest. We lift our head, neck, and chest. Fold at the mid-ribs. And we curl and roll up. Sitting up, sitting tall. Let's flex at the ankle to pull the top of the foot back towards the shin. If your hips feel tucked under too much, you can pull and open the back of the leg so you're on your sit bones better. We're going to bring our arms out to a T, and we're going to twist through the mid-ribs to the right, and we're going to double pulse. 1, 2, over to the left, double pulse for 1, 2, trying to keep the legs straight, the arms reaching long, sitting as tall as you can. Last one, each side. And arms come to the front. We tilt the hips back, curling and rolling down to the mat. Arms reach out to a T position, palms up towards the ceiling. We'll point the toes. Drop the rib cage in. Knit tight through the back and through the abdominals. Right leg is going to lift up, circle out at the top and around. Working some up circles of the leg in the hip. And right leg comes back to the roller. Take a moment, a breath to reset. And exhale, left leg lifts up, circles out at the top and around. Last one. Left leg returns to the roller. Take a breath, find that reset. We hover the right leg up off the roller. And we open out to the right, circling up to the top, down through the center. Right leg rests, stretches long across the roller. We float the left leg. Left leg moves out to the left, up and around to the top, and down the center. One more. And lowering the leg. Let's slide our legs out about mat width on the foam roller. Arms come back up over the chest, and on the inhale we lift the head, neck, and chest, and exhale to curl, rolling up, sitting up nice and tall. Once again, if you need to adjust your position so you're sitting up strong out of your sit bones, we're going to have that roller towards the back of the ankle. The farther down, the easier it is, the less it's pressing your legs up. Arms come out to a T. We're going to twist to the right. The left hand comes across the body, reaches for that right foot as the right arm goes back behind you, pressing the legs straight. We sit up, sit tall, we unwind, twist to the other side. Right arm comes across, reaches for that left foot as the left arm goes behind. And we sit up and sit tall. Working that deeper stretch for the saw motion. One more each side. And arms come to the front. We tuck and curl. Roll back to the mat. Let's bend the knees, roll the foam roller towards the hip a little bit. We're going to have our knees bent and our feet are going to start flat on the roller. Let's start with a couple pelvic tilts. We're going to tilt the hips back and slow to curl back towards the tailbone. Just to decompress the low back, reaching the arms nice and long. All right, pressing our left foot to the foam roller. The right leg reaches up towards the ceiling. We're going to single leg bridge. On that exhale, press and lift. Slow to lower. We will alternate each leg. Right arch, right foot to the roller. Left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Brace and tighten and press to lift. Slow to lower. Left knee bends as the foot comes back to the roller. Right leg extends up and single leg bridge. Ribs and abdominals knit in. Keeping the shoulders down away from the neck, out of the ears. Stretch the arms long. Push strong into the back of that working leg. One more each side. Reset the arms and the shoulders each time. And bending both knees, feet to the roller. Fingers are going to interlace. We're going to bring our hands back behind the head. And on the exhale, we're going to fold across the mid-ribs to lift head, neck, and chest. Slow to reset the upper body back to the mat, allowing the head to fall back into your hands, fully supported by your arms. One more chest lift. And arms come back up towards the ceiling. We roll the foam roller out with control, up the back of the leg, around the heel, pressing down so you feel that control, create that dorsiflexion, and press and straighten the leg. Point the toes now. On the inhale, we lift the head, neck, and chest. We curl and roll up and stretch out over the legs, reaching out nice and long. And now we're going to roll the roller up to the back of the upper leg. We're going to work the hamstring group for the stretch. Arms come to the back behind you. I'm starting a couple 3 to 4 finger lengths above the knee crease, so I stay out of the back of the knee. And we're going to lift the hips up, straighten the legs, and roll the roller up towards the hip and down towards the back of the knee. Again, we're staying out of the back of the knee. Nice proud chest. Shoulders are sliding down and back. Working on creating that long line through the spine. And I'm going to rotate the legs so that they turn out to get the outside of the upper thigh. Three, 2, 1. dropping the hips down. We're going to bend the knees. And we're going to press our hips up so we can move that foam roller across the back of the hips. I'm going to roll the back of the sacrum, the back of the hip from tailbone, up the pockets towards the low back. And then we'll take our right foot, right ankle, cross it over our left thigh, and we're going to tip onto our right side. Tipping onto that right hip, we're going to roll up the right hip, right pocket. So right ankle is on that left thigh. You've got a rotation of your body onto your right hip as you roll up and down that glute. Try not to shrug the shoulders. And we'll place the right foot down, square ourselves off once again, and we'll switch sides. Left foot comes onto that right knee, and we're going to tip onto the left hip and roll up and down the side of that the left hip. Moving up and down that left pocket. Few more passes. And we'll pause. Coming back to the center. We're going to roll up a little bit towards the low back. So walk your feet forward a little bit more. I'm going to curl back a little bit, roll towards the lumbar spine, creating this hollow position. Also opening up through the chest and the shoulders, bending the elbows as you curl forward. Using your arms and your shoulders to help control the movement. Knees are bending as you glide yourself forward. One more pass. And then we'll drop the hips down on the other side of the roller, so your hips are on the side with your feet. Holding on to the back of the legs, we're going to pivot back over the roller. Drop the shoulders, the chest back, drop the head back towards the floor as far as you feel confident and comfortable in that position. And then we bring chin to chest and we curl and roll back up. We're going to move that foam roller up about 1 inch or 2 and pivot and do the same arc over the roller, keeping our hips down, arcing the back over towards the floor. And slow as you come back up. Moving that foam roller up. I'm across the mid-ribs, just below the shoulder blades at the bra line. And we keep the hips down, upper body moves back over the roller. You can even now move the arms out to a T position, palms up towards the ceiling. And then we lift once again. Moving the roller up across the shoulder blades. I'm going to interlace my fingers, take my hands behind my head, anchor the hips to the floor, and then arc back over that roller. Working in a little bit more shoulder mobility. Hands come off the back of the head and reach up overhead. Fingers interlaced, hands behind the head, supporting the head, neck, and chest. And exhale, chest lifts. And back over the roller. Exhale, folding at the mid-ribs, chest lifts. And back. Finding that nice deep fold across the bra line just below the pecs. One more. Starting with our chest lift, we're going to lift the hips up off of the mat. You may want to walk your heels closer to your hips. We're going to bridge, lifting our hips up, and we're going to roll up and down the mid and upper back. If you've got good control, you can work all the way towards the lumbar spine, towards your low back. And now hands across the chest. Two more passes. And we'll sit the hips back to the mat, right across the shoulder blades with the roller, arms open out to a T, drop the head back. Move your feet to a butterfly stretch. Let the knees fall out to the side. One more breath. And then fingers interlace, hands behind the head to support the head and the neck. And then slow as you lift up into that chest lift. Keeping our butterfly pose with our feet, we drop the chest back over the roller again. And fold and lift. Folding at the mid-ribs. Nice deep fold across the bra line as you lift. Rolling the foam roller along the shoulder girdle. And we drop back over the roller, reach the arms up overhead, stretching out nice and long. Let's straighten out the legs, stretch the legs straight out on the mat. And arms come forward as we lift the head, neck, and chest. And we're going to curl forward, roll out nice and long over the legs, stretching out over the thighs. And we'll curl up, restack the back, sitting up nice and tall, nice and long. Arms reach up overhead, fingers interlace. We stretch up and over to the right, back to center, lengthen over to the left. One more each side. And arms rest.